At this time, Orville said to the younger brother beside him, "Come on, get me this dog thing to the kennel." The two bodyguards immediately stepped forward to drag Jones GN away. Jones GN was frightened and cried, turning to look at Charlie, kowtowing and crying. "Charlie, I blame myself for not knowing your excellency. Since our old man is a classmate for many years, you just let Mr. Orville spare me once." Charlie smiled and said, "What's the matter? Now you know to ask for help? Didn't you just chase me away?" While wiping his tears, Jones GN choked up and said, "Mr. Charlie, I was really wrong. I am willing to be a cow and a horse for you, but forgive me this time." Speaking of this, Jones GN said with a pale face, "Mr. Charlie, as long as you forgive me this time, I am willing to give you all the assets under my name." When Pan Ming heard this, he blurted out subconsciously, "Jones GN, are you crazy? There is still a lot of money in your assets that I gave you. And half of them belong to my daughter. You don't die, shut up." Jones GN's eyes were about to split, and he observed at Pan Ming with gnashing teeth, and cursed, "The old immortal dog, are UFC King blind? Can't see that my life is almost gone?" Pan Ming didn't expect Jones GN to scold him, and suddenly said angrily, "You, how do you talk to me? Don't forget, I'm your father-in-law. FCK you off." Jones GN said bitterly, "If you hadn't asked me to help your old immortal pretender, how could I offend Mr. Charlie?" After all, Jones GN hurriedly looked at Charlie and complained with tears, "Mr. Wade, this is the old immortal. He has been telling me since yesterday that I must help him ridicule you and your father-in-law, and I will be blind. I offended you, so he is the culprit. It is him who should be chopped up as the dog feeder. You. Pan Ming was so angry that Jones GN's fierce face made his chest rise and fall violently. He never dreamed that the son-in-law that he had always admired and liked would suddenly become a vicious jackal. He wants to kill him now. He tremblingly scolded, "Jones GN, I am really blind, and I marry my daughter to you, ungrateful thing. How can Jones GN care that Pan Ming is his father-in-law? He is only afraid that Charlie and Orville will really kill him. Then he really lost a lot. If someone is really going to die today, it would rather be his father-in-law than himself. Moreover, today's matter itself was caused by the old master. If he hadn't been asking him to trouble Jacob and his son-in-law Charlie, how could he have this end? So, he pointed at Pan Ming and cursed, "Pan Ming, you old dog. Today I offend Mr. Charlie and Orville, completely because of your old dog's instruction. So it is fair for you to die. Why? Let me die for you? You bullshit." Pan Ming waved his hand hurriedly and said to Charlie, "Oh, Master Wade, don't believe this B.Sturd's nonsense. I didn't instruct him to target you and your father-in-law. It was his own opinion to find you. Don't let him fool you." Jones GN cried and said, "Mr. Charlie, you must keep your eyes open. Think about it, I have no grievances and no grudges against you. Why should I come to mock you for nothing? It's not like Pan Ming, he has been jealous of your father-in-law who had soaked in his beloved woman. He couldn't let it go for so many years, so he was always thinking about revenge and hatred, so he asked me to help against you and your father-in-law. Now he is shamelessly trying to get rid of the relationship. You must not let it go. Pass him." Charlie nodded and said lightly, "Don't worry, the fate of this old dog will be miserable. The crime of taking advantage of his position and being greedy for so much money is enough for him to die in prison, I believe. He will be arrested if he does not leave tonight." When Pan Ming heard these words, his heart shook, his legs softened, and he knelt on the ground with a thump, begging for mercy. Master Wade, don't toss Uncle. Uncle, this old bone wouldn't survive for many years. Can't I kneel down?" Charlie ignored him, looked at Jones GN, and asked faintly, "Do you want me to spare your life?" Jones GN hurriedly nodded his head like pounding garlic and blurted out, "I beg you, Mr. Charlie, to show mercy. Charlie said, "It's okay to spare your life, but as I said just now, we need to see an ethical drama where the son-in-law beats the old master, so you should know what to do." How could Jones Jian not understand Charlie's words? At this time, he had long hated Pan Ming, who was throwing the pot to him, so he didn't care that he was his father-in-law. He broke free of Orville's bodyguard, rushed in front of Pan Ming, and hit him in the face with a punch. After all, Pan Ming was too old. He slammed this fist and fell to the ground with an ouch. On the one hand, Jones Jian had hatred in his heart, and on the other hand, he hoped that he could behave better, so that Charlie would reduce his anger a little bit, so there was no softness in his hands. Not only did he have no mercy, but he also beat Pan Ming to death. Pan Ming has a handful of old bones, which is Jones Jian's opponent. Jones Jian rides on him, presses on his head, and beats his old face like crazy. So painful that he just exchanges, "No, no, stop begging for mercy." But at this time, he begged Jones Jian for mercy. How would Jones Jian care about him? So Jones Jian cursed, "You old dog, you have more to die. IFC King beat you to death."